So do you remember when you were in grade school and you had to do a report? And what did we do? We walked down to the library and pulled down our World Book Encyclopedia. I remember my 4th grade report when I had to do it on Ghana. And so you used to go and pick out G and then go alphabetically to find it. And then the biggest challenge was that you weren't supposed to copy what the encyclopedia said. That's a little too dark. Just if there's a middle gauge there, then you had to sit there and regurgitate the encyclopedia into a report that sounded like your language. Remember how hard that was? Today, I want to share with you some of the ways that we can use the web. There's a middle ground here somewhere. Can you see that okay, though, guys? It's pretty big.
It's fine.
Okay. So what I want to do is go through how to tap into the reputable sources on the web, the use of RSS feeds in our research, and how you can consider maybe using other people's blogs to develop, to find research, points of interest, facts, opinions. The use of different types of search engines, this is evolving, I mean, monthly on how search engines are using it, who are the biggest search engines. So that's pretty interesting. I'll show you some tactics on that. And then also the ranking of search engines, and there's some of the Google tools that you could use in your research that are just right there on Google that some of you don't even know that are there. Okay, here are a couple things that you can do when you're researching. I don't know how many of you guys have kids in the school district, but one of the things that they do not like kids to do is use Wikipedia. And I believe it's because it's the people who are volunteering and going in and supplying the information aren't necessarily reputable. You don't know who it is, and it's based on opinion. I love Wikipedia, but if I'm helping my son do research, we cannot use Wiki. I'm forbidden. So I've learned, doing this report, what to do to help Rowan with reports that I'm not using Wiki. There's the suffixes at the end. Instead of .com, you go to the .ed, .gov, or what I found is a really good source is .cia. Well, I could give you a whole list of websites right now that use .ed at the end or .gov, and you try to remember them. Here's the trick. There is a search engine called searched.com. You put your topic in there, and unfortunately you can't see drop downs on here, on this part, but I'm picking educational sites. This is a report I did with Rowan on the Haitian Revolution, and instead of picking up everything that Google will pick up, this site will only pick up ones that have .ed at the end of it, which are better credible sources. So this is a Webster.ed. Let's take a look at that. You go right to someone's essay that has credibility and talks about the Haitian Revolution. In Rowan, his teacher would like this far better than sourcing a wiki site. So the interesting part about it is that they use Google, this search engine, the searched.com uses Google, but it clarifies that it's just using sources that are from an educational source. Okay. The other one is search.gov, works the exact same way. So if you want to search government sites, just put your search term in here, and all you're going to pick up is government sites. And as I said earlier, the CIA has a site. Here's an example of how I use this. I was doing research for a medical device company on breast cancer research in Saudi Arabia because we wanted to bring our device to Saudi Arabia. Most countries do not have census. I mean, you can pick up our demographic information in the United States so easily. Try to find out the number of women 25 to 65 in Saudi Arabia and then break it down by 10-year increments was nearly impossible. I went to the Central Intelligence Agency site, and they have beautiful pages here. So this is United Arab Emirates. you know, it's kind of like it's an encyclopedia, but you can go get really good maps, not off Google Map, that are good for reports. And then down below, it kind of breaks down the stats of the country. So in this case, I went up here, and if you can believe it or not, this is like hours searching on the web. This is about as good as I could find on what the demographic breakdown was for in Saudi Arabia, without paying $3,000 to $4,000 for other demographic reports. So this helped me actually in my research. The other place to go is Google Scholar. This part of Google will also just get you books. See the books, and then down here was another historical or review that you can use. And that paper looked like this. So can you see the difference on the quality? All right, the other thing you can do is use RSS feeds. These RSS means, the acronyms mean several different things: rich site summary, etc., real simple syndication. If you go on Salt Lake Tribune or most of the news sites, you'll see this button here. When you push, you can choose your feed. So for example, if you wanted to stay up on a topic, I did something quite easy. That's pressing the RSS button. Then you can come and pick your topic that you want to follow. So I did further down here on movies. Said I want to keep up with all the latest reviews on movies, and then I subscribed to this feed, and then that went right next to my feed button under favorites, and it automatically pulls it, so I don't have to go look for it. The RSS feeds are there. Park Record has the same thing. You can also put an RSS feed into your email, so you're getting it all. You can also use blogs. Park City Mountain Resort, for example, has, if you're researching on where to vacations for mothers or families planning, and you can go find blogs that will help you plan a vacation. The other thing you can do is use different search engines because they search differently. Am I really at 7 minutes? Okay. So the search engines work links versus meta tags, that they function differently. So for example, if you go to Google uses they rate the sites on how many other people are connecting to the site, and it's on popularity, versus a Yahoo does it on content and meta tags. So when you're doing your research, use different websites because it's going to give you different results. Here's one I did on how to train a dog to heel. So if you can kind of look at the landing page and what the top 5 sites are on here, we've got dog obedience, a YouTube, and then YouTube's, and then an eHow. Now look at how different it is when you go to Bing. Bing goes eHow's #1, another dog obedience training site, then it goes into your videos, and so forth. So using the different website or browsers search engines will help you find different information. And then you go, the other thing you can do is use a couple of different Google tools. Google, as you can see, has done, it's been very successful in serving us with our search terms, searching. 66% of people go to Google versus the Microsoft sites, which include Bing, Yahoo, Network, and AOL. So it is the best overall search engine. Here's a couple other tools you can use that I use this all the time. You can go into Google Alerts, and let's just say you want to keep on top of this story about Talisker wanting to boot Park City Mountain Resort out of their lease, okay? So we want to stay on top of it. Maybe if it hits the Wall Street Journal or something, you're going to know about it. So, or just that day you're doing research, you just want to know now what using this search term, this will turn up a lot better news sources than all the crap you get if you just put Park City Mountain Resort and Talisker in the regular Google window. So this one gives all of the news and all of the blogs that are talking about this topic. That's the second page of it, and then it goes down into the websites that are also pulling up this story. Okay. Then on Google Books, you can search books and authors. This one's How to Take a Nap. Look at how great and clean that is. Or you can search by authors. Stacy Demalski.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh-wee.
Whoa. I like that because I do think it's a lot cleaner than what you get if you're trying to search even on Amazon. All right. So that, I hope, gives you some ideas on some new tools that you can use to leverage the web and how it works. And then we have a few minutes, although I'm over time, but how about any other questions or points that people want to share on how they use the web?
So going back to your child, are those other places considered reputable sites then? And do you have a sort of special way you have to notate them?
You know, they just have a bias against Wiki. And so, no, these other sites would be perfectly credible. And Carta, which is, you know, the encyclopedia online that Wiki actually uses, I don't think has an issue with it. It's just Wiki. But I use Wiki all the time. How about you guys?
I do too,
absolutely.
to check a date or whatever.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate, I think, that they brush it off because look at all of us when we get out of school, we use it, we find it resourceful and reliable. Any other questions from using it? And John, I'm sure you probably have lots of other tools that you use to learn or get around the web.
Right. I think one of the things I noticed was when you do this, it was a search term site:/edu. So if you know of a website that you go to, you can also type in website in that manner and then look for a subject matter. That way, so you can do it from Google. So if it was site:/cnn.com, you can then go in and search for the story that way too.
I'm sorry, say that again. How do you do it?
Site.
What would you type in the search bar?
Site:/.
Site:/.
Yeah, and then the name of the website, whatever it is. It's CNN.com as an example. And then whatever you're looking for. So it'll just search for that website, whatever you searched, whatever you're searching for.
In fact, if you look up there right next to the search on the top right-hand corner, there's usually like an advanced search next to that. And you can bring that up, and there's other search terms you can look at inside Google. There's all kinds of things you can search for. You can search for backlinks that will actually show links that come back to your own website. You can search specific websites, as John mentioned, specific domain types like edu or gov or org. And you can filter in all kinds of different ways.
And there's also on the left-hand side, it's kind of hidden, but if you look for something 6 months ago, you were signed into your Google account, you can go back and it'll show you the results you searched for 6 months ago.
Oh, really? If you have a Google account?
You were signed into your Google account, yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That helps because your memory doesn't go back that far usually in your browser, right? Stacey.
I also search in YouTube, and I know that a lot of that YouTube video stuff comes up in a big search, but sometimes it comes up further down. So I go into YouTube, and a lot of times if I'm I used to do a higher ed blog, and I would go in there and see if any of the professors in that topic area taped any of their talks and if they'd come up. And there's been a lot of times where there's only information that way about a certain topic that wasn't really anywhere else. Or if it was anywhere else, it was just very sparse. So I use YouTube a lot to go in there and actually search on content within YouTube instead of using Google or Yahoo to hope it comes up in the first couple pages of the search.
Ah, interesting. All right. Okay, well, I am way over time, so let me close up and let Fred come back up and